Hi, good night, guys. Welcome back to the channel. It's your girl, Chelle. I'm in complete vlogger mode. I did not feel like setting up my tripod or anything like that to film this video, and I'm just gonna tell you right now that I apologize for any loud noises or bangs that you might hear throughout this video, just because I have a bunch of people that are moving into my complex, and yeah, they're being really loud already. So any whoosies, I'm just gonna prop my hand up here because a bitch needs some support. But in tonight's video, I just wanted to like quickly touch on something that I've been seeing a lot on my Twitter feed, and it's just something that it's a loaded topic, so I'm not gonna delve into it too much, but I just want to touch on it a little bit, and it has everything to do with colorism. Now, I had to I had to unfollow two people. One person was a light bright, and another person was someone that was brown skin, like literally would not pass the paper bag test to save her life, but was talking about how dark skinned women, need to get over the fact that they're not preferences and not take it personally, X, Y, and Z. Listen, this has nothing to do with preference and everything to do with ignorance. Like, the fact that people in this day and age are still confusing colorism and the issue of it with a preference thing for dark-skinned women is really confusing to me, because there's enough information, literally like scholarly information, that you can go ahead and get yourself educated on to not be making these type of asinine opinions. You know what I'm saying? Like, it has nothing to do with preference. If someone does not prefer you, that's fine. Like, I have people that I don't prefer. I don't go around saying it and speaking of them negatively day in and day out, or every single chance I get, to make them feel some type of way about themselves. Like, y'all have to understand that this is literally two sides of the same coin. Like, you can't agree that racism exists, but then totally ignore colorism. Like, they're literally siblings. They shake each other's hand, bro. Like, so it confuses me when people are just like, oh, colorism doesn't exist. But those are the same people that can acknowledge that racism exists. It's like, colorism is pretty much racism within your own fucking, like, race, bro. Like, what are you saying? Like, and it's always people that don't experience it having the most to say about it. It's like, you're a light bright. You're not going to understand it. Like, you benefit from it. So, of course, it's easy for you to dismiss it as like, oh, it's not real and it's all in our minds. It's like, no, you could do that because it doesn't affect you. And the same as the same person that's like, or the brown skinned people that just, they fall in a nice little lull where it's like they might experience it to the point where they don't realize they're experiencing it because it's not as blatant. But at the end of the day, like, you're still experiencing certain parts of it and you don't even realize that you are. Like, that's sad. Either way, I've been seeing a lot of talk about it on my timeline, and the shit is getting exhausted because there's people that just won't get it. And, from my fellow sisters that, are doing the work, this is very hard emotional work to do day in and day out. Like, it's very hard to emotionally and mentally put yourself out there and talk about things that hurt you and upset you every single day. But I think it's important for us to take breaks. It's important for y'all to rest, okay? It's important to not feel like you need to talk about these things day in and day out, because there's people that's going to be willfully obtuse on purpose. I noticed that so many of us are finding it hard to express ourselves because the moment we go ahead and say something and we don't speak about it in a tone that many people like, we quickly become labeled bitter and angry. And it's like, coming to think about it, some people might still be going through their bitter and angry phase. Some people might have not made it past that phase yet. And can you blame them? Like, at the ending of the day, if you're getting hit with negativity from all around, like literally all angles, would you be happy? Like, would you really be happy? Stop and think about that for a second. If you're navigating a world that's constantly throwing grenades at you, would you be happy? I don't think you will. I don't think so. I don't think you will. So I really applaud the women that have made it through their bitter and angry phase and you know, they understand that it doesn't matter what you do, there's still going to be people that's going to constantly choose to misunderstand you. And they keep it pushing, because honestly, not everyone is going to understand what it is you go through on a day-to-day basis. And I feel like it's so important for us to take breaks and really regroup and just not feel like we need to put on this armor every single day. I'm so sorry about the alarm. But not feel like we need to put on this armor every single day to get online to talk about someone's perception of your reality can never outmatch your actual reality. And that's something that I think we all need to keep in mind. A lot of people, like light brights and stuff like that, that don't go through colorism or don't experience colorism to the extent that we do, it's easy for them to chalk it up as not being real or we're being overly sensitive. But at the end of the day, it's like, again, that's their perception. They're not dealing with the realities of us. So it's not even about dividing or creating a divisive atmosphere. It's just people understanding their place and staying in their lane. Like, you can't use your perception of what you think something is, being that you don't experience it, to try to tell somebody that does experience it, you know, what their reality is. That's like real disrespectful. That's like me being a cisgendered woman trying to tell a transgendered woman what her reality is. It's like, no, that's not my fucking place, and I can't do that. And it's the same thing for a lot of y'all. Like, y'all are light brights, y'all are mixies, you don't deal with the things that dark-skinned women deal with, and it's really weird how y'all like to step outside y'all lanes and be like, oh, y'all are just so sensitive, just understand that you're not going to be somebody's preference, and that's okay. Boy, it has nothing to do with preference and everything to do with the fact that you're meant to be publicly humiliated. Like, there are people that are missing representation because they don't make a certain visual cut. There's people that it's affecting their money because at the end of the day, they're too dark. And their hair is a texture that is too much, you know what I'm saying? And for you guys to overlook things like that and dwindle it down to something so asinine as, oh, you know, just get over it, you're not a preference. It's like, there's so much more to it than just being a preference. Like, are you all right? Like, when you're being systematically and institutionally excluded from things, that's a problem. Like, I cannot tell you all the countless, like, stories I've heard from women from my mom's era that will literally tell you, like, yeah, you could not be dark skin or pass a certain complexion in the front lines of anything. Like, I read that somebody was saying that their aunt or somebody or their grandma, somebody was telling them that, yeah, in their particular country, you had to, like, all the lighter people were placed in the front line. Like, you would never see a darker skinned person working at a bank. You would never see a darker skinned person working in arenas like that. And that's telling. Like, it's not a fucking coincidence that magically they couldn't find a dark skinned person to put in that institution. Like, it was purposely done so that these were the only people that you were seeing. The same thing I had my mom tell me back in the day, if you wanted to be a flight attendant, mom was like, whew, that airline industry came a long way, because she was like, I remember back in the day, like, you had to be this amount of, like, this height, this weight, this complexion, have this type of hair texture to be even considered to be a flight attendant. Bro, imagine you had to make all those criteria just to be a sky server. And that's not, I don't mean to diss them in any type of way or diminish what they do, because flight attendants are very important. They play a very important role. But that's literally how my mom explained it. She was like, you know, imagine, like, you're just serving people food on a plane, like, you're serving people food in the air, but you had to make all these different criterias just to get chosen. Like, that's crazy. I know of people that, especially for my country, like, it's still like that. Not so much the weight and the height thing, but more so much the color. Like, you have to present yourself a certain way, and you'll see a token black here or there. It's getting a lot better, though. I will say that it's getting a lot better, because the last time I took Caribbean Airlines, like, I definitely saw a diversity, but still, like, it's things like this that we have to deal with, and people are just literally boiling it down to, oh my god, you're being so sensitive, it's just preference. It's like, I don't care about your preference. For real. I don't give a fuck about it. As long as it's not coming in the way of my money, I don't care. But the point is, it's coming in the way of people's money, and it's coming in the way of people's livelihood. So when it starts to do that, that is where the problem exists. And for people to be so simple-minded and just really, like, just really not understand the depths of it is appalling to me, really. It's appalling. I don't get it. I don't get it. Some of y'all just need to rest. Like, you need to rest, because it's really going to lead you down a rabbit hole where you do become bitter. Like, if you're not bitter now, you're going to become bitter if you keep on with it, because you're going to keep putting yourself through that emotional and mental turmoil without taking a break, and you're going to really end up resenting yourself and a lot of people. So that's all I wanted to talk about. I think that certain people just need to understand that it's not their lane, and it's okay to shut the fuck up sometimes and move to the right, okay? Move out the way. It's okay. You don't need to be the center of everything. And you need to listen to the voices that are experiencing this in real time every single day versus your perception of what you think they experience. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say, and I will see you guys in the next video. Mwah.